Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Sit down, shut up. Let's get on with this thing, man. A lot of you know that I am from and started doing stand-up in Arlington, Texas. And that was 19 years ago. In 19 short years, I've made it all the way over here. That's over 25 miles, folks. Best thing about coming back is getting to see dear old friends, you know. And, my best friend lives here, and he bought a Mini Cooper. And we went out of his house today, and the battery was dead, right, on his car. So I gave him a jump start off my iPod. And I actually did nothing this summer. Not a thing. I didn't work at all. I did nothing. I sat around. You guys just bought my wife and I a big new house, and I was kind of getting it in order. And I was having a fight with the landscape guy because like half the plants died. You know, it cost tons of money, and half the plants died. And the guy's fighting with me over whether or not a tree is alive or dead. Right? Can you believe that shit? You know what? We walk over, there's two trees, right? Not one leaf on either one of them. It's September. The forest is abloom. Right? And I said, those two trees are dead right there. And he goes over to one of the trees, and he scratches the trunk of it with his thumb, and he comes back and he says this, and I quote, "The core of this tree is still alive." I said, let me tell you what I'm looking for in a fucking tree. I'm looking for a tree that you can tell is alive even if you don't know shit about trees. I don't want to spend the next 2 years every time somebody comes over to my house going, oh no, those trees are fine right there. Go scratch the trunk with your thumbnail. You will find a vibrant core just beneath the bark. I had a rough winter. My manager will send me anywhere in the winter for one reason. He doesn't have to fucking go. Send the show pony off. He'll send back a commission. And I tour on a big tour bus with my wife and 2 dogs. And in January, we're in Connecticut at the Foxwood Casino, biggest casino in the world. And they were kind enough to put me in a remote parking lot. I mean remote. I wasn't anywhere remotely near the biggest casino in the world. And that nasty snowstorm slaps the Northeast this last January. And I got to walk these 2 dogs in the morning, and there's a thermometer on the bus that says what the temperature is outside the bus, and it was 0, right? And my wife hollers out from the back of the bus. She goes, what's the temperature outside? And I said, there's not one. This place doesn't seem to have a temperature. But no matter what the temperature is, I still got to walk the dogs because she ain't going to do it. Not the Empress. No, no, no. So I'm walking the dogs, and they pee, right, which, you know, makes me want to pee. And it's freezing outside. My dick is like that. And normally it's like that. Huge cock. It's that long, but it's like this big around. It's like a cheese wheel, really. I may not touch bottom, but I will stretch out the edges. With my cheese wheel, don't be afraid. I watched the Michael Jackson trial, and, you know, Michael wasn't convicted of anything, and I know people do try to misrepresent things to get money from wealthy people. And here's a little parenting tip for you, though. Whether Michael's convicted or not convicted, don't let your kid go over to Michael fucking Jackson's house. How about that? He's got a Ferris wheel in his front yard. I guarantee you, every pervert in America is sitting outside the school in a hot van with milk duds melting in their lap going, if I only had a Ferris wheel in my front yard. They'd be lined up at the gate to get in here. Yeah, I don't know about Michael. You know, they searched his bedroom and they found the life-size dolls of little boys, one of them dressed in a Cub Scout suit, right? Well, maybe it's innocent, but if they searched my room and they found the life-size doll of a woman, everybody would assume I was fucking it. And they would be right. I told somebody I would tell the story. I was doing a show in Bowling Green, Kentucky, not too long ago. And you never know how much of the crowd you can see. It depends on how it's lit. This one's lit for a DVD, so I can see everybody. But usually I can just see either nobody or the first couple of rows. And there was a lady down front, and she was wearing I guess a Western skirt, a denim skirt with buttons up the front, except it wasn't buttoned up the front. And her legs are just kind of splayed, and I really didn't want to embarrass her, and I tried to ignore it, but I couldn't because that little attention deficit problem I've got. And I actually stopped the show, and I said, ma'am, would you please close your legs? I can see your slip. And she got all mad, and she goes, it's not a slip, it's a petticoat. I'm like, well, I can see the junction. And Uncle Joe needs a shave, to tell you the truth. And I'll tell you one more. I was doing a show at Fort Polk for some troops in Louisiana a few months ago, but anybody could come to the show. There were civilians there too. And I mentioned that there were 40,000 men stationed at Fort Polk. It's a huge base, and there is. And this really well-dressed drunk lady hollers out, every one of them's a bad fuck. I was like, boy, you know, it seems like after about 39,000 times you'd start to go, maybe it's me. Maybe I need to read a book. I seem to be the only common denominator in this math equation of love. I think because of the unrest in the Middle East, we're all getting just a little bit more familiar with the globe than we used to be. I found out yesterday there really is a place called Bumfuck Egypt. And the only way to get there is to go up Shit Creek. And the Ayatollah of Iran died today. And they're desperately looking for the next Ayatollah.